So, um, I was looking at videos. I was looking at Google and looking up like properties of silver, just to for fun. It's just something I would do. And I wanted to make a video like that about the properties of silver. The people who gain the benefits of silver in their life, silver or something like it, who use it as a healing agent for all the benefits that does have connected the dots and added something up that some other people may have they've never channeled or used silver or any type of gemstone or gold or diamonds or any of those kind of class of crystals and gems and stuff like that. They haven't. It's not your only way you're gonna succeed. I mean, you can definitely succeed just as a human. You don't have to have and own lots of gold or something like that. You don't have to at all. You don't have to spend time in nature to succeed. There's not going to be any one thing that does it unless you spend like all your time doing that one thing, and that's how you always won, because the subconscious is complex. So if you design and create like a few beautiful habits, that's still going to be quality over quantity. So the quality of the habits, even though you're always doing yoga, all you ever do is yoga. You spend like 2 hours a day doing yoga, 3 hours a day doing yoga. You just have the patience, perseverance, and stuff to just do yoga. The downside is like, you're a yoga freak. You do yoga all the time. The upside is quality over quantity. So like, you're not doing all these different success habits all over the place. You just picked a few different habits. I'm going to be a yogi. And yogis who are dedicated have strange powers. Especially if they know what they're doing, or if they have like a certain birth, like a date that they're born, or like a meaning to their soul that has like an elder memory of like a deja vu of like a blissful higher society, that you've been to some higher places before in your spirit. You don't look at everything brand new completely. Like, you do recognize other souls sometimes and their patterns and their signs easier than other people. It's hard to explain because that's the density trap. That is that conscious mind. That is the essence of the distractions for us wolves. Is we know this is like a Matrix thing. Like in the movie The Matrix, when they're sitting there laying down, like, and they have those cords tapped to the back of their head, like getting a wash, like the MVP wash at Sports Clips. They're sitting there just getting their head like drained, like the water, I know that that's technically what this is in a way. It is very day to day. This is such a normal, classy society, and it's fine and good. There's just a few dynamics I would like to work on and improve, and it's not, in a way you could look at it like bummer negative, like, oh, we're spoiled. Another way you could say is, since we have so many resources, why don't we harmonize the planet with all these tools so we can change the atmosphere, change the thought forms, change the whole frequency, just a whole different type of, it's like going from black and white to color, or from color to black and white reality, changing the channel. You know how one movie is going to be completely different than a movie. It's changing the whole channel of how things go in this reality. So it's not going to be like, you can do yoga and really brighten up your energy centers and all kinds of stress relief and cannabinoid properties and stuff, but you chose yoga. That's what you did. Other people are using more tools where they don't put as much work in. It probably costs money, so they're still probably putting work in, but in a way. But for me, I use every tool I possibly can get my hands on. Any kind of money I get, I'm definitely considering buying tools. I'm blessed to have 2 different trees on my property. 2 big, thick trees that are about 25 to 30 years old on my property. They're like pine oak or something like that. So I was looking up the mythology of pine oak on Google, and it was talking about how like they have magical healing properties and stuff like that. The aged ones have magical. The more aged it is, the better. The more around other trees it is, the better. But they have there's like magical properties to the pin oak, I think it is. It was believed by different this and that this goddess like cast a spell on the pin oak when it was first a thing or whatever. So yeah. I believe in all kinds of stuff like that. I'm a big time hippie. That's my thing. You gotta show love. You know what I'm saying? The hippie's whole point, his whole argument, whenever you do see a hippie get pretty bummed out about something, you know, is usually just like, come on, man, why all the hate with the world? Why all the hate? Why all the horns honking, New York attitude? Get the fuck out the way. The world. You know, why all this like honk, loud, busy world where no one has time for bullshit and so mean and I get it. Like, hippies tend to not like and get very sketched out or paranoid during rat race situations. This may be because they were smoking marijuana at the time. Okay. Cookies, bro. So, anyways, I'm like that. I have not been a consistent weed smoker like some of these people, but I've dabbled with it. So, I stick more to the coffee bean. The coffee bean. If you want to get into alchemy, because you have good hippies and bad hippies. You have stereotypical hippie where the second you let him up on your property and treat him all good, half your stuff goes missing and he's gone, and he's bumming all your stuff. You know, they're just basically like, you think you can trust him. He's claims to be this and that, like this, like he's a Christ conscience and he's a hippie. He's a beautiful person, but he'll always like take your stuff and justify it as like, you know what I'm saying? So like, if you do trust them or like sleep in a tent with them, or like, you know, just anytime you're around them, you'll notice like if they do get a chance, like something will go missing or something like that. Then you have like good hippies. I mean, that's usually the downside with hippies, is like weird things with the resources that they steal. They're usually pretty peaceful people, but just they might like still be a sketch drug deal kind of cat. At the end of the day, they might just kind of be someone who just, when shit explodes, they are that stoner who's just like, oh fuck, man, wait, fuck you, wait, you know. Anyways, back to what I'm talking about. So there's all kinds of different beliefs and things people have in this world. It's just like, so the silver, it's not going to be any one thing. So you might get sober and be like, spend time with it, and it might be a little bit too subtle for you to really understand or work with your aura. You know, sometimes it's like a whole channel of its own, to be real with you. It just depends on how much you tune in, and if you know how to mix more health foods into it, it's going to suggest a certain life to you. It's going to suggest less drug use, or at least balancing out your drug use. You're going to be attracted to healthier foods. Like, there's different things that it may do to cleanse and change your thought forms and things. And I don't mean to say may, like it may do that. I have seen it, because here's the thing about me. In this realm, this is a realm of angles. Okay, like square density. In the midst, there are grids all over the planet. Does that make any sense? Like, there's grids and different squareology situations to certain cities, dynamics. There's been some problems with this world that hasn't been completely, I mean, there's hoods all over the place that are technically like really real cool people who explode out of there, but then you have a few people who may get screwed over there with their situation, with their free will, whatever, in the hood, you know. And I think that they were born there for a reason and stuff, but like, so, you know, just look it up online, you know, look it up online and stuff like that. It really calms. So it's supposed to have patience is one of the main things you will gain strength in, but it's a very valuable tool. But it's also very complex and balanced. It's a very balancing kind of channel compared to how all these different stones and each one has its own qualities. If you get the right good stuff, if it's real, and if you know how to kind of balance your lifestyle around, like you may just be unattracted. You might buy some and be like, that's stupid, you know, and not want it. And that may be because subconsciously it rubbed you the wrong way, its energies. Some people have astrological traits where, like, I think silver is technically run by Cancer, so it's like a Cancer type of, it's hard to explain. But, because I smoke a lot of cigarettes, so, nah, I mean, I'm just all over the place to get, like, fighting the battle. I'm slowly winning the battle of getting sober. Definitely excited. So a few of my favorites, the favorite stones. So, like, okay, let me first talk about this. Let me organize. This is musical thinking. This is right brain musical thinking here. This is why I switch topics in different ways. I've had people call me out on this, but I believe it's for a reason. The silver also has patience and perseverance. It means like it's gonna push you towards keep taking bike rides, keep working out, keep reading, perseverance, keep on doing it over time. Seeing something with your thought forms where you may see subconscious perspective as to why you want, what else would I do with my life? I wanna keep riding my bike for the endorphins, for the health, you know what I'm saying? So if I'm hitting the Juul, it's already saving my lungs a little bit. If I ride my bike, it's gonna work on my lungs. If you spend tons of time out in nature, you'll probably get some ultimate CO2 cleansing, nitrogen oxide cleansing of the lungs, where you're able to breathe better because you spend time deep out in the woods versus around a bunch of gas pumps and stuff in the middle of the city all the time. Like, just something about being out in the woods, deep in the woods, or just deep nature. It could be a desert, any kind of nature spot, just very nature, like out. Usually looks like a bunch of trees, but there's all different types of trees, and there's so many different. Nature is a master healer. There's so many different tools that nature has produced that are random plants, herbs, trees, whatever, fungus, mushrooms, different things that have all these different properties. Nature has so many, and even the stuff that man made, oxycodone, hydrocodone is like synthetically derived from the poppy. So we basically make it ourselves so we can produce like a lot of it and do all this stuff without having poppy fields or something like that. Less poppies, more pills. Because I don't think doctors mess with opium poppy too much. It's got to be some synthetically derived opioid. They don't necessarily have you smoking poppy or eating poppy or however you do it. I'm sure poppy is probably great. It has this original effect, I'm sure, like Coca-Cola. But all these other ones touch on the same type of feeling. They just have slight different, just like all the different benzos. Like those are man-made, but whatever the fuck they did there is the benzos that they created those, they still did something that came from this whole reality or power that God gave them in the first place to create that. There's some ability they found out with the chemistry of the universe to figure out how to create benzodiazepines in the lab. Alcohol is like a naturally occurring thing that we figured out when you ferment fruits and stuff like that, and then they develop this drunkenness, this juice that you get drunk off of. You get very drunk, and drunk is euphoric, a lot of endorphins, huge buzz. Just not the same. I mean, you'll laugh at being drunk. You'll think that's a joke once you try like methamphetamine or cocaine or heroin. Or if your exact, but if your exact type of euphoria you find is usually like the anti-anxiety effects, so you really probably enjoy, that means you will either love or hate marijuana, and you'll probably love your benzodiazepines or alcohol the most. So to you, optimally taking like 6 milligrams of Ativan, alprazolam, Xanax, Klonopin, whatever the hell, Valium, just taking a heavy dose of those is probably like your favorite. Barbiturates is like even heavier type of benzo type of feeling, I think. I've never taken them, but that's just, I learned about barbiturates and I'm like, whoa, that's like a whole nother class of drugs, barbiturates. because that's how Johnny Hendrix died, is a barbiturate overdose. I guess it's like it's a similar feeling to benzodiazepines, works on the GABA. The GABA floods the brain with GABA, which is what's going to channel in that effect of canceling out all those thoughts of anxiety or any rushing thoughts. Maybe after a day, maybe you had a good day at first, you drank your coffee and you worked your ass off and you built up all that work through the day. But then later on, it became this annoying crash or chasing the caffeine high, or just at the end of the day, it gets old, your thoughts are racing too fast, and now you need to chill out. So you go to a bar and have a few beers. No, I'm kidding. So you go home in your Cadillac SUV and pop some Klonopins or some Xanax. I don't know. That's a joke. I don't know. Because I'm not so blessed. The second they see me, they see like, not hood rat, but like they see like a certain type of mentality where the second the doctor sits me in the seat and talks to me, they're like, no Adderall, no Xanax for you, no Wellbutrin, no Zoloft, nothing that will get you high as fuck. We're only going to take the simplest of things. And it's like they know, like, so, but I see other people they have Adderall and Xanax. And they have the bottle to themselves. So they don't have their relationships after them trying to control the substance. They can so it's like the ultimate lucky situation. You have Adderall and Xanax whenever the fuck you want it. Like, that's great. That's great. I mean, I'm happy for you. And I've had multiple chances to steal people's Adderall through their backpack at work, and I've never done it because I'm trying to clean my life up, The only time I've just really only took my own prescription, like 99% of the time I was just taking my own prescription. There's only a few times where I ever dealt with anyone else's Adderall, but I haven't like exclusively been stealing people's Adderall. I never was I'm not that type of person. Like if I find a bottle in your room, I'm not going to take any pills out because it's like, I just wouldn't. Maybe at a younger place I would have it, but once I hit like, the only thought process that would have had me doing that would have been the time I was on Adderall. So the whole year I was 22, I was like a fiend living in my room like an animal. Like, it'd be like, so I'd be high for about 12 hours a day. I would usually take 2 doses and be high for about 12 hours. Somehow I'd managed to get to sleep at night. I guess it was I think I was taking olanzapine, so I just so I'd come down, pop that, and that would counteract the feeling, and then I would go to sleep, and it was just this euphoric reality where I wake up, pop an Adderall, play Madden 17 or 18 or whatever it was, and then, spend the other 6 hours doing whatever I was doing, I don't know, like typing on the computer and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm trying to like recover that was too euphoric, right? That was just awesome. Or the time where I came home with like 2 grams worth of coke and just like came home and like closed my door, got to the desk, and I was like plopped down this bag of coke, and I was just like, okay. Like I feel good now. You know what I'm saying? Like let's so that lasted about 3 hours. Like I would do like 3-4 lines and just get as high as I could until I felt like there was no way I could get higher, and then wait about 30-35 minutes till I was like, officially I have come down, till you start to get those demonic thoughts and you're like, wait, I need more. Luckily you have more, and it's like the most euphoric thing ever. But it's like this unrealistic reality, technically, because there's too many roadblocks, and because the drug is still addictive in all reality. And but there's different theories still that I like to entertain, just in case, for any of you druggies out there who swore you're onto something with this kind of stuff. Because like there's philosophers like, I forgot his name, Socrates or something like that. He calls cocaine a wonder drug. So it's beautiful for antidepressant qualities. Beautiful. Like a very effective antidepressant, just has a few complications and problems. Wonder drug is what he called it, for the creative states, for the euphoria. He said nothing is better antidepressant real quick like that than stuff like that. Yeah, that's why, I mean, people self-prescribe themselves cocaine for things all the time. It's still basically kind of a prescription with how often they take it. They're doing it all the time. They're probably taking like 100, 150 milligrams every 30 minutes. And then it's just too easy to do another session, to go ahead and do another 30 minutes after. So like every 30, 32, 35 minutes, you're doing another 30-minute round of the coke. It tends to last that long. You tend to come down, right? It doesn't last any longer than like 38, 39, 40 minutes, right around there. For me, it's really annoying that way. I love a drug where I can take it and it lasts more than an hour, and then it lasts like 3, 4, 5 hours. That's a nice feeling. I'm tired of these type of drugs that last like nicotine ain't shit when it comes down to that type of thing. Nicotine lasts like 5 minutes. Crack lasts like 10, 15 at most. You know, coke is just a little step up if you can afford it. Crack is stronger. So then you know, I'd say I know so much about drugs now, but hippie talk, right? So I'm trying to, it was too good. That's why I know, like, it's not realistic in all reality, and I can't, in this life, I can't really mess with it like that. I can't say I'll never do it again, but I don't see myself really being a cokehead at all in the grand scheme of this next, 40 years here or whatever. I don't see myself just being the cokehead in the character of cards of players out there. I don't see myself just being a cokehead at the end of the day. I don't see that. Too expensive. You gotta know some hood rats. You gotta know some hood rats to really be dishing that shit, really be pitching coke all the time. You know what I'm saying? You really gotta know some hood rats, some characters. That's the annoying part too. And then even still, it just starts getting like, just not. And then if you have a tolerance, officially it gets annoying. You wanna know why? Because after one night of doing that, at the end I have one more line, and I'm like, fuck yeah, another 30 minutes. And I do that last line, and it's like a decent sized line, and I don't feel anything. And I'm like, see, I already have that much tolerance because I just did like 4 or 5 lines at once. Then the next time, 4 or 5 lines. Then the next time, you know what I'm saying? And so at the end there, I last one more big line at the end. I thought, hot rail this shit. I thought, like, I'm about to be lucky, say $1 million for another 30 minutes. High as a kite, and was not at all. Didn't feel anything. So that's an annoying feeling. So it just starts getting like, nah, I'm not. I just want to kind of sober up, barely dabble with just the legal drugs only. Only on the weekends kind of deal. It just would be kind of a weekend kind of thing for any kind of alcohol or kratom or anything like that. Just at this point now, I'm just leaning towards more of these cannabinoids because it's such a withdrawal from this kratom. Such a cure for the withdrawal from the kratom. I have kratom written all over me, bro. I've been messing with a kratom head for too long. That's half of what I am, is a kratom head. I mean, the type of creativity, the ideas I come up with was a lot of associated with the listening to that channel of ideas and thoughts. I've always been on the kratom. It's a whole type of thing. So I ain't mad at you. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Anyways, so that's that, but as much as I want to, I avoid those thoughts because I know it sucks when you're going to have to try to ultimately design your life around the drug, or at least halfway around the drug, or a certain percentage of the way around the drug. If you ever want to be doing it, you're going to have to start to design your life around using it. So then it gets annoying, but it's also the funnest thing ever. So then it's welcome to the dope game. It's also like the ultimate utopia in a way, or in a certain perspective. Some people will actually look at it like that. It's like the funnest thing ever, But all right, guys, I'm gonna tune out. Okay, peace out. 25 minutes now. Peace out.